Mr. Durkin, what do you consider to be a reasonable salary for a village administrator and why?
In 2005, when we were thrown off of the ballot and I left government, Joe Crispinelli was making $105,000 a year. I know what Joe Crispinelli brought to the table for the $105,000 a year, and I think that Eric Wiederhold, for $100,000 a year, 4 years later, with what he brings to the table, is a fairly good deal for us as a community. We advertised originally, I think, going up to $87,000, and it was like going fishing with a bare hook. We didn't get a bite. We brought it up to 90 to 125, and we had 20 candidates, I believe, that we ended up having on the interview program. If you want to hire a beginner, then you offer a beginner salary, but if you want to hire a seasoned professional, you will have to pay for a seasoned professional. When you figure out that your workers' comp and liability insurance exceeds $1 million a year in this town, based on that lack of leadership, once you get control in that village hall, you'll see his salary saved quickly. And that's my answer.
Next question, starting with Mr. Durkin. Since the building department has been eliminated, residential homes and buildings previously cited for code violation by the building department, what will the fire department do concerning them? In other words, will there be an enforcement of those code violations?
I'll answer this one. The fire department is currently writing tickets. They have a court that we have once a month in the village of Glenwood where it is settled. The people come to get citations. The previous people that were let go when the building department was taken over by the fire department were not certified code enforcers. Our fire department that is out there are certified. They've taken tests and have certified, so they are certified code enforcers. And they are citationing people. We're getting a lot of stuff done, and there is a court where these people come for their fines, and they settle up every month. And that's my answer.
All right. Larry Williams. Since the building department has been eliminated, residential homes and buildings previously cited for code violations by the building department, what will the fire department do concerning them? In other words, will there be an enforcement of those code violations?
Well, I think that it's questionable. I just heard someone on my opponent's side said that these people are certified. Well, to my knowledge, I think it's only one that has actually passed the test. But I might be wrong. Okay, but to my knowledge, I've heard it was only one that has passed the test thus far. And if I am wrong, I would love, to see the information accordingly. I think that it is no way by taking a 90-day course that you can compare with men that have been working in the field or in that area of expertise for over the last 30 years. It's something about life experience. It's something about doing everything every day of your life that you bring to the job. I know I've interviewed the people in this community, and so many people said how they assist them. They instruct them where to go, where to find parts, how to make the necessary repairs, how to avoid the things that was occurring to their property. There's no way that you can learn all of that reading out of a book in 90 days. So even though we have the greatest firemen in the world, bar none, but they're not code enforcers, they don't work in the trades. It's a difference when you're a tradesman and you're out there every day working on the job, touching the shovel, looking at the broom, repairing. It makes a whole environment about repairing and doing that type of work that you bring to the job, compared to a fireman that this is just a pastime or an add-on or a part of or an additional assignment. And that's the response to my question, to your question.
Great. Next question, same to you, Mr. Williams. New question. What is your vision for Glenwood with regard to economic development, specifically businesses in Glenwood? And and may I add, there were probably 10 questions on this. Another one would be, are you going to bring businesses into the mall? What about a grocery store? But answer the question, what is your vision for Glenwood with regard to economic development, specifically businesses in Glenwood?
Okay, thank you. I would like to reinstitute the Chamber of Commerce. We had a chamber, we were a chamber partner along with Flossmoor and Homewood. At that time, if you take a look at our two partners that continued in that effort, they both had drawn additional businesses to their community. I think by working with our business community, by having regular scheduled monthly meetings, by listening to their concerns, by working as a partner and not as an opponent, by rejoining the chamber, by visiting trade shows, by visiting with the National Association of Cities, by taking an active role, also by working with an administrator for this town, that we can resolve a lot of the problems. I have interviewed a lot of the business people in this community. A lot of them have problems with their realtor or their landlord. We could serve as the middle person in those disputes. A lot of the business people in the community, their customers are fearful of some of our young people in the community. They request that they need additional police presence, or either if we can bring back our community service officers in order to work in this particular area. I think that this would also assist them, and it would also make a lot of the customers feel more comfortable as they visit our merchants. I think that autumn days and programs like this that we have had in the past, that we need to bring these programs back to life and rejoin or restart a Chamber of Commerce.
All right, thank you. Mr. Durkin, the question was, what is your vision for Glenwood with regard to economic development, specifically businesses in Glenwood? Another question related, are you going to bring businesses into the mall? What about a grocery store? The question you will answer, what is your vision for Glenwood with regard to economic development, specifically businesses in Glenwood?
Well, since we're both currently sitting on the board right now, I kind of figured this question would come up. So I asked the interim administrator, Mr. Walsh, today, what, if any, economic development proposals my opponent had brought into his office recently since he was appointed, and then not, I would think a couple months, I'm not sure how long he's been there. And I was told there were none. In that time period, the owner of the Glenwood Oaks has called me and asked me to intercede on his behalf for the property at the Glenwood Dyer Road and the Kerry Expressway, and I brought that in the administrator's office, and we're working on that. There was a proposal for someone, a big box developer, to buy the Glenwood Plaza recently. The deal fell through, and I reminded the village administrator that the property that is at Holbrook Road in Halsted that fell through on the Lowe's deal that was fell apart in 2006 timeframe, 2005 timeframe would still be a good choice for that property, and they are currently pursuing that with the big box right now. And I met Saturday morning with the owner of the Glenwood Plaza, and in fact it was the first time I'd ever met the individual. And that individual is proposing to bring in a grocery store. I believe it's a Shop and Save. But what he wants is a TIF. So Dr. Hollick and I will have to sit down and talk about that. But that is an instance where you probably won't get the development without a sizable redevelopment agreement. And to bring in business in this town, my opponent just recently brought up that he opposed 50% TIFs. Well, we recently gave a 50% TIF. We gave it to Crossbow in our industrial park. We gave them $2 million. And they just merged with Nelco in that industrial park, and they are going to be manufacturing in our industrial park all of the reverse osmosis units for commercial and industrial applications in North America, in Glenwood. There'll be 30 satellite distribution centers in North America.